going to be the theory crafting. Who smokes American spirits?
Brad smokes weird, really nasty cigarettes.
That's some hipster stuff right there, buddy.
It is,
Brad,
he's a
you're a hipster.
I love you, buddy, but you're definitely a hipster. He knows he's a hipster. He's got the big beard and he knows he's a hipster. So
give me a few more
the
weeks.
rolled up jeans.
Give me a few more weeks of isolation, and I'll give up and grow the ratchet beard too. Okay, so let me power this sucker on. And
Talk about the. Okay, sorry. Had to be specific. Had to be specific to some things.
I don't.
Are you gonna clip all this off?
Hi guys.
I know you're not gonna.
This is David with the Printed Panel Podcast.
Hey, it's Garin.
And
I know you're worried that I wasn't here.
no, yeah, they definitely were panicky that
concerned.
you weren't here. So,
Panicked.
it's been an interesting week.
Here's the thing. So it started off, everything was fine. It's just a regular week.
I wouldn't say it's fine or everything.
Well, it started off as a normal week. Hey, we can only do curbside service.
In the COVID-19
yes.
Isolation world, it was normal. And then suddenly, from nowhere.
So Friday comes along, and we get notification from Diamond mid-afternoon. Oh, hey, so amid all these concerns, we are planning on possibly starting shipping mid to late May.
Possibly, maybe.
It is not anything definite. It's very up in the air, but it's, hey, we're probably going to do this.
We're thinking about maybe shipping some stuff, kind of, sort of.
So
mid to late May.
May 18th looks like the target.
Holy God, that's a long time.
May 18th looks like the target.
Like literally a day short of a month.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the interesting thing. So it's like, okay, so we knew we were hoping for early May. Most subscribers, most comic book stores are hoping for early May. Those who have been able to stay open. And by the way, if you are a comic book store and you're watching this, say in California or say Las Vegas or New York, and you haven't been able to reopen, I'm sorry. I feel for you. I really do. This has been painful for everybody.
Man, I wish there was a way for us to help them out. Say, hey, if you can purchase the product and get us your subscriber list, you can ship us the product, and we'll. You know what I mean? Like, I wish we could do something. I realize the scope of that would require a distribution center.
So anyway, I think it's horrible what's happened for all of us, because we're all a small business. We're all small businesses, and we're all trying to survive. So amidst this, over the past month, we have known about Marvel and DC's discontentment with Diamond Comics. We've known they've been very upset about this because essentially Diamond unilaterally shut down production, shut down shipping for everybody.
Shut down distribution.
Shut down distribution for everybody.
They said, we ain't shipping you comics. Exactly. You can produce whatever you want.
Right.
But if you send them to us, they ain't going nowhere.
Right. So,
and my question is,
and they even said the warehouses were no longer accepting product. That was the big warehouses no longer accepting. So,
was that an irresponsible decision on Diamond's part?
Though? Well, and that's the thing. That's the debate, and that's the debate that's been going on for the past month. It's like, is it irresponsible? Was it responsible in that, hey, we want to protect our workers? Was it irresponsible in that, hey, listen, the stores aren't open anyway. Why would I ship anything? Okay.
Well, and ultimately they have a contract with all of these comic book companies,
right,
on what's supposed to be out. And
the contract essentially is pretty simple. You send us our product. You send us your product. We store it. We ship it. We get paid for it, and then we pay you. That's essentially how the contract works. Here's
my point about saying that. Is it so simple? There is no clause on there that says pandemic happens, we don't have to do this.
I don't.
I doubt it.
I would doubt it too. And it's not because they're short-sighted. It's because who would have thought there'd be a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic? Because people think China pandemic, they think Asian or Russian or African pandemic. They don't think American pandemic because it hasn't happened in 100 years.
Global pandemic is a thing.
It is. So
and now we know that.
That's the debate. That's kind of where we are. So right after this, knowing the discontent that Marvel and DC have had, we get word that DC Comics is going to be shipping their comics on April the 27th for an April 28th, which is a Tuesday release. Not a Wednesday, a Tuesday release. They have said, and they said, we're shipping through two shippers, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. And it's going to be a limited product in the first week or two, which is fine. That's understandable. Because right now, honestly, Diamond has their product for probably 2 weeks worth of product, maybe.
Maybe up to a month.
Maybe up to a month, because they get it in advance. So they have it well in advance. So we don't know exactly what Diamond has. We don't know exactly what's...
I predict lawsuits.
Yeah, I predict lawsuits. I predict there's going to be some Wild West. We talked about this a few minutes ago. There's going to be some Wild West stuff going on.
Okay, so explain to me Wild West stuff. Let's talk about comics
pre-Diamond.
Pre-Diamond.
So pre-Diamond, if you went to a comic book store, you had to buy from Marvel, buy from DC, you had to buy from Image, buy from Dark Horse. You bought direct from everybody. And it was a pain, and I was not in the business at that point. I know, of course, I was a buyer at that point, probably. But, no one thought about those things years ago. They were like... And there were multiple distributors. There were small distributors that could handle it, and then there was... The Diamond came along.
Do you know who we need? We need the dude from Comics Exchange, who was in business at that point in time, to talk to us about how things work.
We could talk to Bill.
We should talk to Bill.
That's not a bad idea.
Hey, Bill, we want to talk to you.
Bill, if you're watching, we do want to talk to you about this, just for a minute, because you've been around long enough that you probably remember these times. But Diamond came in and they solidified everything. Diamond came through and said, hey, listen, we'll take all the comics, we'll distribute all the comics, you ship them to our warehouses, and there are multiple warehouses across the country. We'll ship from these warehouses, and we'll solidify everything. But in turn, what happened is Diamond became so large to the point where they caused a monopoly. They're the only people that can ship anything. It also, there used to be direct shipping from Marvel and DC to your house.
Right.
And
you could get your own subscription.
Oh, yeah.
So Midtown Comics in New York, in Times Square, for years and years and years and years and years, if you subscribe directly through Marvel,
Midtown shipped your product.
Midtown was the fulfillment group, the distribution.
Yeah.
So you bought from Marvel, you paid Marvel. Marvel said, Midtown, send this out. And Midtown was one of the distribution groups,
Right.
probably the primary one for Marvel.
So as a kid, I remember, going to the mailbox and going, hey, listen, hey, my Spider-Man's here, or my G.I. Joe is here, or whatever.
Would you believe the first comics I ever subscribed to directly from Marvel was the Ultimates line?
Really?
Ultimates, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Man, that was 2001, 2002?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's... I'm not that much older than you. Well, okay, well, anyway, when I was... I'm really not that much older than you.
Keep telling yourself.
Anyway, so... 9 years. So, so now this is going to be cause for a lot of concern for a lot of subscribers and a lot of stores. So immediately you start to see backlash from the DC move, because DC is saying, listen, Diamond, no. And they haven't said they're cutting Diamond off. What they're saying is, we want to get you your product now. Right now, I want to get you your new product right now.
Well, and there's an attitude. So I forget who it was. Oh, was it Lifa? No, it was... Whose tweet did I respond to? So somebody was busting the balls of... it was Tynan.
Tynan, yeah.
So somebody was busting Tynan's balls about Batman not shipping. I sure wish that you guys would go ahead and put in a good word DC to go ahead and have them release it digitally. And
no.
And like his response was so polite and so kind and like, well, there's problems with that. And I was like, okay, hell no. And so I at the guy, and I'm like, look, the reason that you can't do that is your local comic book shop. The reason you can't do that is because I don't care who ships it. Somebody's got to get paid to ship the comic.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to handle it. Somebody's got to package it. Somebody's got to print it.
Yeah.
If you go pure digital, if any of these companies ever decide I'm no longer putting out print comic books, they put tens of thousands of people out of work.
Yeah.
Even
if it's just like the sweaty
DC,
guy at Thor's Hammer Comics, that could be a problem. And I'm the sweaty guy at I don't have a stain on my shirt.
No one would have noticed.
No one.
If you
Okay.
hadn't said anything.
All right. So
It doesn't look like you're lactating, then.
Anyway, so DC then they bring this hammer down. Now, did they say that they've cut Diamond off, or that they've said they're no longer shooting Diamond? No, that hasn't come through yet. It's an assumption, not anything in reality. So you immediately start to get backlash because there are some states. New York is a good one. California, I know Texas. There's places where you can't go out. Tennessee is unusual. We can still go out and do things.
We're the uncultured savages of the world.
Well, I mean, and honestly, we can still do at our LCS here at Nirvana Comics. We can still do curbside. Any of the comic book stores here locally can still do curbside service. You just can't come in and shop. And I've had a couple disappointed customers, and I do apologize to you guys. I wish I could let you come in and shop for graphic novels. I'm sorry, this is the law right now. I can't do that. But so places like New York and California, you can't do that. So immediately there's a backlash from some companies. I'm not going to mention who, but the articles are out there, who basically are livid that DC is doing this. That they're, hey, listen, I can't open my comic book store because I can't go out. Hey, why would you do this in the middle of everything? This is not going to be, we're not going to be ready for this until late May. And then you see bigger companies kind of starting to agree. But then,
well, now hold on, because I may have an epiphany, a glimmer, an understanding. I'm a comic book shop owner now in San Francisco, California.
right?
And DC announces you have 2 distributions, one East Coast, one West Coast, that you can get these comics through. And I'm going to start them out April 27th.
Right.
Sign up, get your comics. You can't go direct to your customers with these comics. So you have between the time this was announced Friday and the 27th to make a decision as to whether or not you're going to buy into
you
it.
only have 4 or 5 days to sign up.
Jesus Christ. That is pretty rough. What?
That was
Could
the drawback.
Could you not contact, set up your initial order, ship it to your home where you are, get your orders of bags and boards. If you can get them from your shop, great. If you're a comic book shop owner and you don't have a bunch of them at your house, you're weird. And then contact your subscriber list and say, hey, I can ship these to you.
Right.
Here's the
let's
cost.
get them out. Let's do this.
Yeah, okay, so now I'm playing devil's advocate, guys. Believe me, I'm all for like the businessman and everything, but like if we thought about that and we're really on lockdown in our homes, you have the ability to make money on this and you can provide a service. I'm going to ship these to you flat rate.
Mm-hmm.
Have the postman pick them up from my door. They'll be to you 3 to 5 days afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could do business that way and make some money.
So this is the. Now, by the way,
I don't see a drawback.
You're going to start seeing some of the major players in some areas that kind of go, no, I'm only going to deal with Diamond Comics, and you're going to start seeing some of the other major players go, you know what, I need to make money because this is a quarantine and most of my business has been on lockdown. Bring me my product. Now, and we knew something was coming, but boom, they just announced that they're going to be starting to ship through Simon & Schuster graphic novels and trade paperbacks. Now, no single issues yet, but they actually just announced that they're having their own distribution network done as well.
Wow.
Now, what is the greater impact? We don't know. Ross Ritchie is the chairman out there. He has actually been really, really vocal about how he feels about what's going on. He's been extremely supportive of small businesses. They're doing specials that when they do open back up, that if you buy direct from them, they're giving you a certain amount of product for free. Like if number ones come out and we sell a certain amount of number ones, they're going to give us a special copy of those things. They're really trying their best to incentivize buying from them. I think Vault is doing the same thing. Not sure what Image and Dark Horse are doing yet. They've been keeping their cards close to the vest.
Marvel has the money to sit back and not do anything.
It's true, they do.
You
Right
kind of
now-
were saying earlier that you expect Marvel to make an announcement on Monday.
I do. I expect
Marvel
to hear
actually has the finances to just weather the storm. They
Well,
could choose to just not ship anything.
But it's more important than that. Marvel loves their fanboys.
Mhm.
They do. That they make comics for fanboys. They make too many comics, but they make comics for fanboys. This is how this industry works. And right now, the fanboys are like, "There's my comics, man." They're jonesing.
I don't think they are.
I think
our viewership proves that they're not.
Well, it's
I mean,
possible.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying. Actually, I think. Here's my prediction. I think I'm going to take the opposite tack. You're like, nerds need it now. I'm like a lot of nerds right now have been forced to sobriety, and when those doors open, less people are going to walk through them. You're going to lose 30 to 60% of your subscribership who have sobered out of comics and put that money into video games and put that money into other pursuits.
But
and
you're
interests.
right. This is the other major fear that local comic book stores have across the country. Is they've been shut down for how long? Well, why are they going to come back to comics?
Right.
And
and some of us are generally any moment from, there's a lot of buyer's remorse with a stack of $50 to $100 worth of comics every week,
Yeah.
and you look at that bank account at the end of the month. If you're like me, I mean, I spreadsheet everything, know every dime I spend, and you go, this competes with, it's bigger than my car payment, it's bigger than my electric bill,
Yeah.
it's bigger than my cable bill. I spent more money on this than I did diapers for the kid.
Reality. Hey, that's true.
Yeah.
$30 for diapers.
Yeah. Think about it, and so a lot of
this is going to be a big deal, and I'm actually and I'm going to put this out there. And we have posted on our Facebook page about this. I posted about the DC, the Diamond, and of course Boom. Tell us what you think. Give us your opinion. I'll be honest. I'm actually kind of excited for the industry because in some ways Diamond has had a chokehold. Maybe it's time for Marvel to cut loose and say, fine, I own a distribution house because we're with Disney. We own a distributor. Why can't we just simply ship it direct?
Welcome to Disney distribution that will then break off in Europe.
I mean, but that's the point. Disney money is always going to surpass. It's going to surpass everything except for what Apple money right now.
Well,
Google money.
AT&T's got a pretty good.
AT&T, but AT&T notoriously has been walking away from DC. Maybe this is the grab that they're looking for. Maybe they've been looking for some way to say, fine, we'll take it. You're gonna do this, Diamond? No problem. We'll do it ourselves. I don't know. There's a lot going on. So there's a lot up in the air.
But DC's the major player who's kind of thrown the gauntlet.
And you're gonna start seeing comic book stores across the country start seeing things like AWA. They did Resistance and Archangel 8,
Hotel, Red Border.
Yeah, I mean you're starting to see new companies like AWA. That was the only 4 that came out first. There's more coming out in previews.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to year 0.
I can't wait. But then you also have Bad Idea Comics. Bad Idea Comics. There'll be 100 stores available for that. Nirvana Comics in Knoxville is going to be one of those 100 stores. I don't know what the content is yet because, quite frankly, we haven't seen it.
I vote Booby Books. Oh wait.
You vote that all the time. So
I do.
But
that would be my presidential platform. Vote for
me.
For
vote
Booby Books.
So the reality is, things are going to start to change. Things are going to start to change in the next few weeks. Obviously, the stores are not going to be open yet, but because we don't know if they're going to extend it into May for this. I know I've heard that Tennessee is just going through May 1st, and that's it.
I don't believe that'll happen.
So
okay. So if we want David's real prediction on not the state of comic book, but the state of COVID, if Tennessee doesn't maintain stricter rulings, I mean, we're stuck where we're at right now. We needed to be doing more, but if we don't at least stay where we're at right now, and the floodgates open and the restaurants open back up, COVID will spike here a second time, and when it does, it will have a huge impact. We'll have as many deaths in the second wave as we had in the first, if not more, and that is where people are hungry. People are hungry to get back out and do something.
Oh yeah, I mean the Florida governor opened up the beaches again.
If you want my 2 cents on the idea, wait 6 weeks. Keep yourself. I mean, you may not be able to because of your job, but for the going out and for the movies and the restaurants and the beaches and the parks and those kind of things.
Yeah, Regal Entertainment hasn't said anything about opening up.
Keep your family home for about another 6 weeks. Whenever they say it's clear, wait 6 weeks. If it's July, trust me, mid-September may be the safest point.
The economy right now is the biggest concern for politicians, whereas people, the biggest concern is people. So yes, you need money, but at the same time, they also don't want to die from this. So this has been a big deal for everybody. I am more than willing to hear your opinions. I'd love to hear what you guys had to think about the DC move, about the boom move, about what's going on with Diamond. Give us your thoughts and opinions.
Predictions on what's coming next.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big deal, and we've heard. You're seeing a lot of commentary. You're seeing a lot. I've seen people saying, "Listen, this is due to come. Fine, let the comic book industry die. Let companies starve because, quite frankly, they weren't doing what they're supposed to do to begin with." I've seen that.
$4.99 and $5.99 an issue is starting to be a little ridiculous.
Yeah. So anything over $2.99 for a comic book is highway robbery in a lot of people's eyes.
So I understood making the move to $2.99, $3.99 with no articles or with no advertisements.
Right.
I was fine with that, and we still get advertisements. We just get that company's advertisements,
Right.
which is sort of frustrating. I mean,
But you're advertising your own stuff in your own book. What?
Give me a $1.99 comic and put something in there for Big League Chew again. Like I don't really care.
Yeah, that's been the big issue too. Is that was the big complaint from fanboys is there's too many ads. Okay, you're right. There are too many ads.
Congrats.
But that's what's paying for the book.
Congrats, you won. You won that argument. They took print ads out of comics, and now you pay $4.99 and $5.99 a book.
I am quite frankly surprised that ThinkGeek and Snickers and Milk don't come back to comic books to support the comic book industry and get their information out there.
Well, we pissed them off. We told them to get out of our comics.
Yeah, and so that's the other issue. It's like, well, man, bring them back, bring those things back. And I think you'd notice that when comics are at $2.99, this optimum level, it's not too expensive, not too inexpensive. It's at that optimum level. I think you'd see more people buying comic books. But at $3.99 and now $4.99 for a lot of new books.
When $4.99 becomes the standard
norm.
Price for issues, I will drop 50% of my list.
And that's.
I mean, and I'm a diehard. So.
We've heard a lot of people say that, and that's tough. I think you're gonna. I think DC and Marvel are gonna have to start listening to those things if they want to continue. We've already heard rumors that Marvel is going to cut 25 to 40% of their line.
Whoa!
This is a rumor. We have
I need to quit saying Marvel's putting out too much.
This is
because at least 2 or 3 things I love will be in there.
So this is just rumor, but I mean, if you look at a Marvel book, I mean, you look at Marvel previews. This thing is huge. I mean, it's massive. Yeah, most of this is Empire in this book, but still, do they need?
They didn't need
12 Empire titles.
No.
Can you just do it with 3? I don't know.
Could you just do it with a flagship title?
Do you need another Spider-Man book?
Okay.
That's the question.
I'm gonna just go ahead and piss everybody off right here. This was done right.
Oh yes, it was.
7 issues, yeah. main run.
Yeah. Now you had the Rogues Rebellion and you had Argus, but
you could ignore that without missing part of it. You can't do that with Marvel events anymore.
No. With Marvel and DC events, you typically have to have the whole thing for it to make. Now, with Metal, you could have done all 5 issues of Metal, and it would have been fine, or 6 issues of Metal.
I did do just the 6 issues.
And it would have been fine. You didn't have to do the extra stuff. But if you wanted that first appearance of the Bat Who Laughs, you had to have Teen Titans. And if you wanted to really do it right, you had Murder Machine, and you had to have all those extra who those Batman were from the different universes.
Really?
Metal
Teen
was
Titans?
Teen Titans number 12. It's the first Bat Who Laughs.
You know, I don't have that.
Yeah. That's an expensive book, too.
Where were you on that one?
I was here somewhere.
Yeah, no, but where were you telling me I needed to buy that one?
You were shopping here, too, at the time, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't even here full time at that point.
You were in Seymour.
Was I in Seymour? Okay.
You were in Seymour.
Anyway, so...
Thanks, Richard.
Point being, with things like this, yeah, could you afford to cut things? I mean, I hope DC doesn't cut anything because they're very lean right now.
There will get to be a place where I won't be able to afford not to.
And see, that's the issue too.
I can't have my $300 a month in comics turn into $500 a month in comics.
If you overproduce, if you have overcharge, or not even overcharge, but you charge because you need to, there's got to be something's got to give. And this is maybe this pandemic is going to show these companies what they need to give.
All right, so here's your homework, kids. I want to know what you guys think will completely change and never go back to pre-COVID-19. I've said several times there will be BC-19 before COVID-19.
Yes. Yeah.
The world changed. World changed in December. We just didn't realize it. We caught up to it in March. The world changed. What changes do you guys think will be out there, comic book related or otherwise? Hit our Facebook page, the printed panel on YouTube. Please, 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 please. Hey, thanks so much for the feedback I actually got on YouTube. Probably going to go today and post the full episodes of last week, and we're going to post all the full.
I'm going to give a specific shout out. Wait, I got to say thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Ben has been at home working. Ben came in Friday and bought 3 books based on our suggestion. He bought Flashpoint.
Really good.
He bought Rome West.
Very, very good, yeah.
And there's a third one he bought too. Chrono Crisis books. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Court of Owls. He bought Court of Owls.
Oh,
so
good.
literally, it's like Ben was like, he's like, hey, you still doing that? Okay. I want Rome West, definitely. You still got Flashpoint? I want Flashpoint. And he's like, do you still have? Yeah, I got Court of Owls. So, and Ben is a fairly new reader. He's only been reading for a year and a half. So maybe even 2 years. So the problem for him is, like a lot of people, they have to go back and catch up. And Flashpoint's a perfect place to catch up. Perfect place to kind of start over and then go with a new product. So,
well, that makes me feel good. What we're doing, maybe making a little bit of a difference.
At least someone really found something they liked, and of course, this supported a local comic book store.
We've talked about this for like half an hour, so I'm going to cut it here, whether we like it or not, because we're going to go talk about comic books,
DC,
Marvel. We're going to do that kind of thing.
That stuff. Thanks, guys.
Okay, love you. Bye.